Good afternoon. It's 12:15 on Wednesday the 21st of November, and here I am back at the Bluff Bar where I finished my walk yesterday, and I was collected by my friend Steve Johnson, who lives in Crackington Haven, who I did some walks with earlier on the southwest coastal path. Today's plan changed quite dramatically. After reading the weather forecast last night for my intended walk, which was going to be from St Ives to St Just, there was a warning of weather which included sleet and rain and not very good weather at all. So it came as a bit of a shock to me when I woke up this morning and looked out of my camper van around about sort of 8 o'clock, and it was bright and sunny, and it stayed that way more or less all morning. And so I'd already decided that I wasn't going to be walking, and I was thinking of having a day off. I seem to have been doing an awful lot of editing recently, trying to keep up with it, and even though they're only shorter sections, they're only sort of half-hour videos, it still takes just as long, you know, to do a short one as a long one in reality. So I decided, instead of taking advantage of the fact that Steve was going to Land's End today and could have picked me up in St Just, I decided instead to do this walk, which will just tidy up the order of it, and it'll give me an easy walk for the afternoon, and I can get some good shots hopefully of St Ives and other places around and about, and that's my intention. You see that I stayed on a good campsite. I'm absolutely thrilled that I found a perfectly positioned campsite for what I need. That's Hayle. Lovely people. The guy Andrew, who I spoke to at length, is a new campsite, and he's very obliging, very nice guy. What I do like about it is the internet is perfect, and the Virgin signal is 4G, and so I'm back in communication, having been out of communication quite a lot this week really, because I've been so down on the coast, more or less at sea level, behind an awful lot of big hills and this kind of thing, where I've had no signal at all. So tomorrow's weather forecast is for rain, as is Friday's, but it's going to clear up again on Sunday. So I've booked for the whole week on this campsite. I'm going to have a little break, so if you wonder where I've gone, you'll know. But should the weather forecast change, and it looks as if I'm going to be able to get both of the walks in, first of all from St Ives to St Just, I'll do it. It's about a 15-mile walk, so that's going to take me 6 or 7 hours. I can get a bus back from St Just. Then I'll consider what I need to do to get from St Just all the way down to Land's End, which I think is a distance of about 12 miles off the top of my head. It might be slightly more, but obviously I'm keen to get it done, but I'm not keen to get it done in bad weather. So that's why I say I'm not in a rush. I don't see the point of I've stuck rigidly to not walking in the rain because I can't video, and also I don't like walking on the tops of these cliffs and up and down the slopes when it's raining, because it's making it wet as you walk. It's a little bit different walking on a path that's had rain the day before, but not actually when it's raining, and I don't particularly want to do that. So that's my plan, and I've also got some time to go into St Ives today and try, if I can. It's just started to rain as I'm speaking actually. It's not too bad. I'm going to try and find a place where I can find something that's going to help me to stop this wind noise on my camera. I know this seems to be an ongoing saga. I had 1 or 2 messages yesterday which pointed me to a site on YouTube about wind noise on cameras, which if you're interested you might want to have a look at. So I'm going to go and see what I can buy, and my first thought is I'm going to go to a barber shop somewhere and see if I can get some hair and make make some little muffles with that. That isn't going to cost me anything. I can get quite a lot of it because they only throw it away, and I can experiment and see if I can come up with some good ideas. And I can test it as well because I've got quite a big fan in the van, which I use during the summer, and so I can use that to see if it works. So here we go. far from St Ives now, and I've just walked up from Hayle, so I've done reasonably well. It's about 2:30 now, and I've I bumped into this young lady, Rachel, who's an avid walker, and she's heading in the same direction as me. And you've been doing quite a lot of walking abroad, Rachel. What was this one you were telling me about?
Well, it was the first
Santiago.
one. No, it's the first one I've ever done.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I thought, well, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to go for it. I walked the Compostela Santiago.
Yes.
It's the pilgrims walk from Pierre, Saint-Jean-Pierre-de-Port,
Yes.
over the Pyrenees to Santiago.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
and how long a
nearly
walk
killed
was,
me, but did it.
How long a walk was that then?
It's about 500 miles.
Yes, I think it's a lot of people call it the Santiago 500.
Is that what they call it?
That's what I've heard of. Yeah,
and some people call it the Camino.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the Santiago. There's quite a few pilgrim walks in to Santiago. There's the French one, the English one, this one, and that. But I did the French one because it's the one that's the best signpost, and because I was doing a walk for the first time.
Yes.
First time I was doing it, I thought, well, I don't want to get lost.
No.
I'll do this one. I'll do the one that's that's signposted, and there's lots of hostels along the way, and see how I get on. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, I got the bug now.
Yeah. Right. So what are you doing now then? What are you doing here?
I'm working my way through my bucket list.
Right.
But I want to do my bucket list before I get too old. Before my hips give up.
Right. Do you have leg problems or?
No, I don't. No, but I don't. But I know you come to an age when you do. Yeah, everyone sort of. I'm getting to the age where most of my friends are talking about hip replacements and things like that. So I thought, oh, bugger that.
No.
I'm off.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, you asked me the question about have I had any problem with my legs.
Yeah.
I haven't had any problems at all. I had an accident where I was crossing an estuary. Somebody offered me a lift on a two-man canoe, and I fell out.
Oh, no.
We both did. I lost a camera. I lost my phone.
Oh gosh, I bet that was freezing.
Cost me about £1,000. And but I sprained my groin in the process, and for 4 days I couldn't walk. I was in a terrible state.
Where was that?
That was just near Milford Haven on the Pembrokeshire coast. It was White Sands Bay.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
It was only about maybe 400 yards wide, and the tide was coming in really quick, and there's a causeway it would have been too deep to walk over. And this guy said, "Oh, I'll give you a lift across it." And it was to save a 7-mile walk. I was stupid, really.
Well,
I mean, I could have hired a stretch limo and a bucket of champagne for the amount of money it cost me. Do you know what I mean? To take me the whole distance, and glittering lights and dancing girls. You know what I mean? It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't had any other problems. I mean, funnily enough, last night I've had quite a good walk over the last week or two. I've been going for it, and because I want to get to Land's End, and so last night I soaked my feet. And I'll give you a top tip. I don't know if you've heard of this. If you get water as hot as you can, and use Listerine, which is mouthwash.
Oh yeah, antiseptic. Yeah.
Yeah, put that in and soak your feet, and it really freshens them up, and it cleans them. And
it does.
No, it does, honestly. And you can clip your nails really well if you leave them for about 20 minutes in reasonably hot water. Well, I did that last night, and today I'm off like a robber's dog.
I'll have to try that. What I did, I invested in really good boots. I spent some money on some boots, which I don't normally do, and really good socks. That was a top tip. I had really good walking socks, really good boots, and I was the only person on the Camino out of all the people that I met that didn't get blisters. I saw horrendous blisters. People got terrible blisters.
Yes.
And what I did was I greased my feet up every day.
Put some Vaseline on your feet.
Vaseline. Well, I bought a really good
cotton
hemp
socks.
Yeah, well, no, they say. Well, it was wool socks.
No, cotton socks, and then your walking socks up at the top, and then it kind of impregnates the cotton socks.
I used hemp cream.
Ah, well,
Hemp cream. And then I used the tape that they use for bandages. I used that around my feet, not too tight, so my blood, my circulation. I used that on any points that I thought were going to get sore, like underneath your big toe, around your little toe.
Yes.
And I did that religiously every night, because in the morning you have to get up and out the hostel. It's a bit like being in the army. You're out with your rucksack on. I was carrying a big rucksack as well. I was carrying 9 kilos.
Wow.
Rucksack, all your stuff you've got to take with you. And that was really brilliant. I didn't get one blister, but I did it every day. I looked after my feet, and whenever I stopped anywhere where I could take my shoes off in the day when it was hot, I just let my feet breathe, took my shoes and socks off, and just let my feet breathe. But I did get something called split shins from walking for not taking a rest.
Yes.
And walking on the road.
Yes.
Road walking.
Yes.
It's a lot harder on your legs than path walking.
Yes.
That's what I mean about you've got to do the walking while you're still fit and you're not in pain. I mean, that's what I'm doing. I've got a big birthday coming up in December, and it's freaked me out. I've got my 60th coming up.
Right.
And I just don't feel like I'm 60.
Well, if I'm to be honest, Rachel, you don't look as if.
No, you are. You see, I'm not going.
You see, I'm 70. It's my 70th this
brilliant.
year. Yeah.
It's brilliant. So you've got to keep walking. So that's what I thought. I thought I'm not going to get old. I'm just going to keep walking.
Yeah, well, that's how I feel.
And do all the things that I always wanted to do. And one of them was coastal walking.
Yes.
One of them was living in St Ives.
Yes.
You know, all the things on my bucket list that I want to do. And the Compostela Santiago. Yes. I thought I better do that now while I still can. So this decade, really, I just plan on having a lot of fun and doing a lot of things. I mean, it sounds really selfish, doesn't it? But
well, no, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Well, my children are growing up now. They've sort of got their own lives, and they don't need me as much. And I think someone told me once, on your deathbed, it isn't the things that you did.
I read that the other day.
It's the things you didn't do that you regret.
Exactly.
So I don't want to have too many regrets. I want to do all the things.
That's perfectly understandable. I feel exactly the same.
Yeah. No, I understand. And the thing, like when I was on the Santiago, a lot of people were there because they were reassessing their lives. Because what happens when you walk is, like when I was walking on the Santiago, all I had to think about was where I was going to eat that night, you know, what I was going to have for my dinner and where I was going to sleep. So it really simplifies your life. You're just focused on your walk and your next meal and your bed for the night. So your mind quietens down. It really, really quietens down. Your thoughts become simple, and it leaves time for other stuff.
Yes.
You know, to think. For me, it was stuff from the past that came up that I really needed to do some work on.
Yes.
Some forgiveness.
Yeah, exactly.
Forgiving other people and forgiving myself.
I know exactly what you're saying.
It's a lot harder to forgive yourself.
Yes.
So much easier to forgive other people.
Yeah.
And there's stuff that I wanted to leave on that Camino that I didn't want to bring back with me.
Right.
So what I did was I found big stones, and I carried a big stone, like I'd say this represented this thing from the past. And I carried it, and all day I'd meditate about it. If it was a person, I'd pray for them, and I'd say, I wish them happiness, I wish them health, I want to let them free, and I want to let them go, and I'd say sorry, and then I'd carry it all day. And when it got too heavy, I'd leave it somewhere, like on a church door, or there's these sacred places, and I'd just leave that there, that problem there.
Right.
So, and now if I think of it again, I think, no, I've left that on the Camino. I'm not going to go back to that, you know. Right. So walking's can be quite important.
I think it's fabulous for sorting it out, and you've got an awful lot of thinking time, and you're pacing out. You know, suppose I'm going for a 15-mile walk tomorrow to St Just, and it's a long way. You know, you think about that. That's like 33,000 steps, and you know, you think about how long it takes and the things that you think about. I used to have headphones with me and listening to music all the time. I haven't worn them for weeks. Yeah. You know, I prefer to think about things. And as for being occupied and stuff like that, I mean, apart from doing the walking, I make this film and put it on YouTube every day. It takes me sometimes 4 or 5 hours to actually produce it and edit it and put some music to it and all the rest of it. And then you've got to load it up to on my laptop and send it off, you know, into the sky to YouTube, and that can take 90 minutes sometimes, depends
especially
where
in Cornwall, because there's often where I am today, there's no internet connection.
Well, this campsite I'm on, which is just the other side of St Ives, it's the best internet I've had all the way through.
That's amazing.
And the best internet, the best phone signal I've had as well. My laptop's working like brand new because it's so quick. Wow. And it's getting on a bit now. It's about 8 years old, if not more. But it's, you know, I was in Poultry the other night, so you couldn't get anything. You couldn't get a phone signal. You couldn't get the internet.
I'm in a little granite
cottage.
Yeah. The granite it really struggles with the granite.
Yes.
I did I've done the St Ives to Zeno walk last week. I did that.
Yeah.
That's a really brilliant. Have you done that?
No.
That's a brilliant walk, but it is tough.
Yeah.
It's 7 miles, but I'd add on a couple of miles for all that. There's a lot of scrambling over rocks.
Yeah.
So when you load this up, could you get rid of me wrinkles and do a little bit of
I'll see what I can do.
Photoshop.
Give
me a facelift.
Put some lippy on or something. Yeah.
Just make me look about 20 years
I'll tell you what
younger.
we'll do. We'll call it a day. That was absolutely wonderful to speak to you. And I'll walk you into the town and we'll go and have a cup of coffee somewhere. How's that? Yeah. Okay. It's been a pleasure meeting you.
And you.
So here we are at Porth Kidney. It's been a bit slow going this afternoon because I've met so many people actually.
So many interesting people.
Your name again is?
Kate.
Kate and
Margaret.
And Margaret. Well, it's been a pleasure meeting you both. I know I could stand and talk to you for hours, but you know we're like sort of ships in the night at the moment, aren't we?
Yeah.
But I hope everything goes okay for you and everything. It's lovely to see you two people on the coastal path. And this is a wonderful part of the world, isn't it?
It is really
and
wonderful.
we wish you well on your walk because it's much longer than ours.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you very much. It's been a real pleasure meeting you, and keep in touch. It'd be lovely
Yes,
to
I've got
hear.
your card. Thank you very much, Jim.
Thank you. Okay,
All right.
thank you. Bye bye now.
Bye.
Bye bye. You look like a man of the world. I've got a problem, mate, that I want you to help me with. I obviously haven't come for a haircut.
On the spot.
But this camera that I've got here, it's got two little condenser microphones. You can see there. Look.
Yes, chap.
And what I want to do is cover it with hair.
No problem at all.
Could you give me a
certainly can.
bit of hair, and I can sort of make a couple of miniature moustaches and stick them on?
Certainly can.
Because these strong winds on your coast, it's constantly causing me problems, you see.
Yes.
The wind noise, and when you're talking to people where I'm talking to them, like this distance away, like you and I, which is about a yard away from each other, if I get the camera in slightly the wrong position, you get this fluffy noise. Whereas and I looked on YouTube, and if you put hair, and I'm gonna go and have a look and see if I can find any other substances, but just to stick on so that it stops the wind noise. That's
yes, absolutely. I've got just the place.
Have you? Oh, what have you got? Oh,
Here
look
we go, my friend.
that.
Luckily for you, it's Wednesday. Bin day's Thursday.
Some longer strands. Can I take that bit,
You can
please?
take what you need, Jim. No problem at all.
I'll take a bit more.
No problem at all.
So pop it in there first, Kev. Thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome, mate.
It's going to give me something to do while it's going to rain over the next couple of days. So it's something that I can do, and I always have a spare camera in my bag, so I can keep that handy for when I need it for the
Of course, yeah.
strong winds.
Of course.
It's been a real pleasure meeting you, mate.
Absolutely. I really wish you all the best in your adventure.
Yeah, you're a bit of a lad, aren't you? I can
You are.
see that. Yeah. And you've got a card. Keep in touch. And,
I will.
And send
I'm going to check you out.
Yeah, send us a message, mate.
You got one of mine?
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, and I'm sorry I haven't brought you any business this morning.
No, you're fine, buddy.
You know,
No problem.